And I did take a rather rash step of drinking the last capsule yesterday. So if this is not resolved successfully today, God help me.
She's going to be awfully grumpy tomorrow, that's for sure.
Because I'm uncaffeinated, so it could be ugly.
Welcome to Own It, Your Business and Your Life, with Nicola Cairncross and Judith Morgan. In this podcast, we're going to cover everything you need to embrace to become a successful entrepreneur, marketing, money, and much, much more. How to create a business doing just what you love. How to own it, your business and your life. This one will be fast, funny, feisty, and very lively. So sit back and enjoy the show.
Hello.
Morning.
Hello, how are you?
I'm all right. So how's your week been then?
Well, I have a little rant in this section.
Oh, excellent.
Would you like me to start my rant, or do you want to start with your good news?
No, start your rant, because I think that'd be great.
Okay, so mine is a customer service rant.
Okay.
Which would more correctly be called a lack of customer service rant.
Okay, well that usually is it, isn't it?
Yes, there's a coffee crisis, shady. I am without caffeine this morning, and through no fault of my own, because on the weekend I ordered my delivery of Nespresso capsules, which were duly delivered on Monday morning. And when they came on Monday morning, I had one left in stock. And fortunately, I hadn't used the one that I had left in stock, and the delivery was earlier than often happens. And then I opened the bag, which was correctly addressed to me, but inside I found the order. Here it is, the order of Mr. Adam Freeman from West Wickham in Kent. And Adam Freeman and I do not drink the same coffee.
Oh my God.
He likes shorts. He has espressos. And some of them are decaffeinated. And anyway, he's probably freaking out because here's his capsules on my office desk. And so I immediately rang Nespresso, of whom I have been a loyal customer at 33 pence a day for 6 years.
Wow. And
said, I've opened the bag, but I've got Andrew's delivery. What are you going to do about it? And the man said, I don't know, I need to talk to my supervisor, can I call you back? Yes, nobody called me back on Monday. Good news, I haven't consumed that last capsule. So that night I sent an email, nobody replied to the email. So yesterday I rang again, and a better person answered, who did take my query on board and indeed phoned me back to let me know that not one but two couriers would arrive today, and they may, of course, it would be beautiful if they arrived in the course of the podcast, wouldn't it? One would deliver my proper order at no cost to me, except for 48 hours without caffeine, and one would collect Andrew's order. Now, it can't be the same man, interestingly. But what he said to me yesterday, and this is the rant, was, well, first of all, what we've got to do is we've got to collect the erroneous delivery. And I went, no, you've taken my money. What you have to do first is sort me out by sending me more caffeine as a matter of urgency. You can't get, and I used to have the same argument with Starbucks, you cannot convert the coffee drinking public into an army of addicted caffeine heads and then not meet their needs.
So they wanted to take the other man's coffee first rather than delivering yours. Well, I don't understand the logic on that at all.
Well, no, there is no logic on that. What they should have done is looked at their screen and seen that I was a loyal customer of 6 years, and said, how can we make this right, Judith? For the sake of 20 quid, because that's all the value of these orders. I think mine is 20 and Andrew's is 40. But they should have been right. No. We don't start with how you can get your erroneous package back. We start with how you can fulfill my order that you've already taken the money from.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, I'm interested that you buy it direct from Nespresso rather than you usually through your Waitrose order.
But they don't come from Waitrose. I can buy them from Amazon, but actually my post is being redirected at the moment because I thought I was moving house. Nespresso is a fine service. It comes the next day. This is the first time it's gone wrong since 2011. So, but when it went wrong, they've got no system for handling it.
Yeah, tweeting is usually the best way to get things.
Yeah, it's passive aggressive. I may resort to social media if it's not resolved today. And I did take a rather rash step of drinking the last capsule yesterday. So if this is not resolved successfully today, God help me.
She's going to be awfully grumpy tomorrow, that's for sure.
Yeah, because I'm uncaffeinated, so it could be ugly. I only have one a day, but I really look forward to it, and it's disappointing. I'm actually disappointed in them because my machine is wonderful. I've loved the whole experience of making my own lovely coffee every day at home. I know they're not popular because they're in aluminium and they're not desperately recyclable, but they make a fantastic cup of coffee, which I absolutely, really enjoy. And I'm disappointed that once it's gone wrong, their staff are not trained to solve the problem, which is, oh my God, Judith, how did we get this so wrong?
Yeah.
Since you're in London, let me rush 20 quid's worth over to you now, and the same man will collect the erroneous delivery and bring it back. Yeah. But actually, it's not worth them sending a courier to collect Andrews. I could just put that in a bin. It's 40 quid. It's going to cost them more in handling than to do that.
Just crazy, isn't it? You think, yeah, especially if they're offering the delivery service, you think they'd have got the system sorted out.
So I think they use Google, who's not the most reliable of couriers in the world. But
well, they should be using a better one, shouldn't they? I mean, they're a big brand, and they use George. I'm sure George would be very unhappy to hear this.
Well, we already call it a cup of George.
A cup of George.
Yeah, because coffee's known as a cup of Joe, isn't it, in America?
Yeah, yes,
we call it a cup of George. Would you like to come around for a cup of George? Because one of my friends who likes George will come around for a cup of coffee. So that's what we call it, George. Yes. I don't think George cares that I'm uncaffeinated, but Nespresso should.
Well, you can always copy him on your tweet. I'm a big. I
don't really go for that. I honestly think. I mean, obviously, if that's your only route, fine. But let's give them today. I think resorting to social media should be a last resort, not a first resort. It's all a passive aggressive for me. That.
Oh, interesting. Okay, I don't think of it as passive aggressive. I think it's efficient.
Well, I wouldn't start there. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. So is there anything else happened in your week at all, or is this the main thing that's consumed?
Well, I've got a couple of things to tell you on what's fueled your fire, but since I was planning to rant for some time there about my lack of caffeine, I haven't fished out anything else from my week.
Yeah, all right. Well, we had a night out on Thursday.
My word, we had a good night out.
Yeah, we went to Dionysi's restaurant, which is near the Five Brothers, but the Five Brothers is shut and Dionysi's isn't. It's got a nice wood-burning stove in the middle, and we had some very nice food. It was a thank you for Stella and Tim, who are our neighbours but one. You know, they of the pine cones.
Yes, Tim of the pine cones, indeed.
I've got an answer for you, Judith. It's not about how well the pine cones burn in the closed stoves. It's the fact they give off resin as they burn, and it clogs your pipes.
As my friend Nicola once said to you when you told us about burying the guinea pig in the refrigerator in the deep freeze, I can't even feign interest in that.
Oh God, I just had this marvellous vision of your friend Nicola saying that as well. She's got such a dry delivery. She was marvellous. So yeah, a night out was had, and as it started out quite tame. You know, we walked down there, we had some dinner, we drank some rosé, and then as the evening wore on, more and more expats came in, and it all got a bit more lively. Not just British expats, so there was some Swedes. And someone had the bright idea. In fact, it was Stella. Now, bear in mind, these people are in, I think, their early 70s. She said, "Do you fancy a cocktail up bar 360?" So Sarah and I, of course, were well up for that because that's the place where all the young people gather. And so we all trotted off upstairs, and the Swedes joined us, and we all had to sit outside because they all smoke like chimneys inside.
Well, that's the wrong way round. The smoke should be outside.
Well, yeah, and also the martini should be before you eat, not after.
Yeah.
And so it was a very successful night out. We had to be given lifts home by Elliot and his pickup truck. because
Right.
it was pouring with rain and we were well the worse for the martinis, that's for sure.
You just call out, Elliot. So just, when you're worse for wear for booze, you just call Elliot and you drive him home.
No, he happened to be playing, because his tavern is shut at the moment. He happened to be playing backgammon in the bar 360, which is actually owned by him and run by his son.
Yes.
So it was all very convenient. And so the other news this week is I don't know if you saw my post, but we've had another arachnid incident.
I did.
Sarah, it jumped out of the fridge, Judith. They're so badass, the spiders.
Last week I wanted to work out how they got into your house. Now I definitely want to know how spiders get in your fridge.
Well, all we can think is it came in on a bit of vegetable or something, because, anyway, I could just tell how bad it was. She jumped, she squealed, she slapped something over it. I knew exactly what was going on immediately because I was on the other side of the breakfast bar. And then she very bravely picked it up with a butter dish lid on it, took it outside and got rid of it after having shaken it up to disorientate it. And but it was, it just did my head in, the fact that it just jumped out of the fridge at her.
Well, hang on a minute. I don't think it can have jumped. I don't think spiders jump.
Sarah, it jumped, didn't it? It jumped. It was the corroboration from my. Anyway, she's now got the moniker Beast Killer. And I am fire. Oh no, I know. Okay, yes, you're absolutely right. You didn't kill it. So, beast dispenser of, and I'm the fire starter.
Okay. And did you see the spray that I copied you, tagged you on Facebook, that my client Justina, who lives on a boat, has got, which is an anti-spider spray? I said, does Caterina stock this? Have you seen that?
Well, no, I didn't see it, but we do have some anti-spider spray, but it does, and crawling insects, to be fair, but it sprays out this white foam, which I'm a bit reluctant to spray at anything in case it damages things. How on earth do you get spiders on a boat, Judith?
Oh, it's wooden.
Yeah, but where do they come from?
It's a canal barge moored in a little haven.
Oh, okay, right, fair enough. So they come up the old...
up a plank.
Yeah, the plank and the ropes and all that stuff, yeah.
Yeah.
They are buggers, I tell you. Anyway...
She's also got wasps. She's got all sorts of wildlife, actually. She had a wasp. She was in the bath this week and a wasp dropped on her.
Well, you can imagine how a wasp got there, but, it's a whole different thing, isn't it? Anyway, let's not get into too much detail.
No.
Hair appointment. Had a hair appointment.
Yes, I saw the new hairdo. That's fab.
Well, it's not looking so great now, I have to say. So I do know why Kim always said no when I asked for that particular haircut. But Dionysia was absolutely charming. Her little daughter Alice was 12. She was working in the business. Mum, who was quite a bit considerably older than both of them, was doing the hair washing and the sweeping. It was a right family affair, Judith. You'd have loved it.
Well, so the restaurant was called Dionysius. The hairdresser's called Dionysia. Stella is your next door neighbour. Stella's married to Elias. Everybody's called Dionysia or Stella.
Or Petros or Nikos or Stavros.
You're going to have, Stavros 1, Stavros the boats, Stavros the donkey. Yeah.
Stavros Pefko, Stavros, all of that stuff, yeah. So it's all good here, though. It's got a little bit colder. There is snow in northern Athens, and it's definitely colder inside the house. Colder outside the house than it is inside today for the first time. 12 or 13 degrees and raining again.
Okay, well, we only have 8 right now, but earlier this morning when I started remarking on the weather, it was -3. Not that I can tell in here, you understand.
No. So we're all right. We've got a nice roaring fire, and we might put the radiator on downstairs later.
Oh, my word. Gosh.
What's fueled your fire then this week?
Well, I was going to talk to you about the new moon, which I'll do in a minute. But first of all, I thought we'd talk about, those. How many of these do you get? You must get. I'm sure the listeners get them too. You must get as many as I get. How many of those emails do you get every day or every week from people who've filled out the contact form trying to sell you something?
Try to sell me something? I don't get any.
Well, trying to say something. I get these ones that say. Beat the competition, use our system to get up the top of Google or some such nonsense like that. I regard that as an email trying to sell me something. Do you get those?
No. Not from my website. I get vast amounts of them on LinkedIn, which is why I never look in my LinkedIn inbox.
So people don't fill out your contact form and send you invitations?
Oh, I tell you what, I don't have a contact form anymore. I've just realised that's why I don't.
Well, there you go. So mostly I get these sort of strange, random. In fact, there's one this morning wanting to know if you can place an article on my site about sanitary wear. And first of all, I thought he meant female protection, but actually what he meant was toilets and bidets and bathtubs and things. But I mean, frankly, if he's looked at my website at all, he will understand that neither of those are particularly appropriate for my niche, which was quite funny. Anyway, I wanted to tell you about a nice one that I've had in the last week. It was somebody called John, and when I opened it up, it says, "Nice website, that is all."
Really?
Yeah, I mean, I'll tell you why that's so nice, because actually my website isn't all that nice anymore. It's rather out of date and needs updating. But it was so nice to open up one of these sort of spammy. They normally try to sell me things using principles that I don't believe in, like beat off the competition. Well, I don't think I've got any competition, it's me. And they clearly never looked at my website at all. But John says, just sent me a compliment, which I thought was rather pleasant.
On the topic of sanitary wear.
Yes. Do you mean toilets now?
Yeah. Opposite Katerina's, the emporium that shall be loved.
Indeed.
There is a strange shop, isn't there, Sarah? We were remarking on it only the other day. One half of it's got full length windows, glass plate windows. On one half of it's got toilets and baths and pedestal basins in it. The other side, it's got cement mixers.
Yeah, well, whatever you need, mate.
It's just so random.
Well, actually, that reminds me of something I'm going to talk to you about later when we get to Word of the Week about random things.
What's fuel by fire? Are you ready?
I haven't finished telling you about the new moon yet. Yesterday, which was the 29th of November, so this will be meaningless by the time our listeners hear it on the 9th of December, but yesterday was the new moon, and 2016, I don't know if you know this, but I think you'll like this, is a year of endings after a long cycle of difficulty.
Really?
And 2017 is a year of beginnings. So this last month, yes, exactly. This last, and look at all the spooky output on my timeline over the last 3 days about new moons and things. Everything is being sort of tied up nicely in the next month. And it'll all be new and fresh and exciting in the new year, which I suppose is a bit what you'd say anyway. But specifically, it's the coming out of darkness and into the light.
Oh, well, that's wonderful.
I know, it is wonderful.
Well, especially for me.
Right, that's why I knew you'd like it. Yeah, no, right, tell me about what's fueled your fire.
Well, Judith, brace yourself. It's the most...
I'm braced. Obviously, it'd be better if I had a cup of coffee, but I am braced. I've
got an app, or I'm going to have one.
I know, you told me, you hinted. I know. You said we weren't going to talk about this, because I wanted to talk about this today, but good.
Yeah, so I'm announcing that I've got an app being made. It's going to pull together everything, all the podcasts, the blog posts, the Own It podcasts, that my Facebook, my Twitter, my everything, all in one place. So my app can sit on your phone or your iPad screen, and you just access everything from there. It will link to my new program, which I'm in the middle of working on, which I'll be launching at the end of January, and you'll be able to book, you'll like this, a coaching session straight from within the app.
Well, you told me about it secretly off podcast in the last week on Facebook. My plan is even more exciting than that, which is I'm just going to become an app.
You what? Say again?
I'm just going to become an app. You're going to have an app. I'm going to become an app. I'm just going to have an app and completely disappear. That's it. Where's Judith? Well, you can't find Judith anymore. She's just an app.
Sarah's in hysterics on the sofa, and I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, I'll tell you in 2017. Okay.
Oh, yeah, when the new beginning starts. She's just going to transplant her brain into an app, I reckon.
You do know what I'm talking about, because we hinted at it and took it out of the podcast a couple of weeks ago. I'm going to become an app.
So I'm going to do it, and it's being made as we speak, Judith, and it was so exciting filling in all the things.
Yeah.
I had to go off and get lots of APIs and secret keys and codes and things, which I managed to do quite easily. I've been inspired by James Schramko's app, the Merries app that you've got.
Yeah.
The Merries app, is done incredibly well. So the thing is, I want mine to do incredibly well. I don't want it to be one of those things that I launch and then it fizzles out. So I'm going to do a 2-month. It's all going to come together, Judith, in a massive cataclysm of wonderfulness at the end of January. And I'm going to start doing PR for it now. And it's just very exciting. And it's really fueled my fire because it's just made me realise I have to up my game on lots of different levels. So I'm going to.
Well, I downloaded James's as you told me to, and I made a list of what I wanted on mine. It's all very exciting, this app thing.
It is, especially when, in view of the fact that we think that email marketing over the next 5 years is slowly going to dwindle away.
Absolutely right, exactly.
But, we've already got the things in place to counteract in terms of push crew. So anyway, so that's Fuel by Fire, yeah. Very good.
Yeah, that's exciting.
Would you like to hear about 18 proven ways to enjoy a successful location-independent business and the freedom to live wherever you like? Own It The Summit is a pack of 18 dynamite interview recordings with globally successful entrepreneurs, sharing their secrets of the real laptop lifestyle. We handpicked each of these people to interview to show you how to set yourself free to design your ideal lifestyle, whether working from home or travelling the world, while running a successful virtual business that you absolutely love. If you're bored sick of working for someone else, trading time for money, or of being a business owner living in one place, sick of the terrible weather and desperate to travel and have adventures, Own It The Summit is for you. These 18 global entrepreneurs share their stories. You can listen and enjoy their tales of where they started, how they founded and grew their businesses, the tools and techniques they use to work on the go, and what living and working in total virtual freedom really looks and feels like. By the time you've listened to these dynamite interviews, you'll be so inspired that you'll want to set up your own virtual business and be researching how to live and work on the go. But Judith and I pulled out all the stops to find the people we both know to be living an exceptional life, running exceptional businesses. Participating in this summit was directly responsible for me deciding to up sticks and go and live in Greece. And Judith was already in preparation to go and live in the Caribbean. With that in mind, you can imagine we drilled down for the nitty-gritty answers to the questions you might have about living and working abroad. After the event, testimonials poured in, and everyone seemed to find something different in each speaker to really enjoy. Just one of the testimonials read, "I've never been online that long, 2 days in a row, my new record for studying online." That was Eve. Claire said it was great content. Her family was getting cross with her huddled in her study. So great to be reminded of all the supportive tools out there for digital nomads. Love your speakers. Just visit ownitthesummit.com and get your hands on these life-changing recordings today. Now, client challenge of the week.
Yeah.
It's an interesting one. It's a little bit vague and nebulous. I've been running a Facebook ads campaign to an opt-in and then jumping people to a survey where I say, what's the biggest challenge you're facing with your marketing right now? Or your business and marketing right now? And the thing I wanted to talk about was all of the answers are not depressing this week. They're quite exciting, but they're all the same. They're all the same in that they're things that people would have been saying to me in 1999 and 2000. I'm sure you get all the same stuff as well. It's stuff that people think they don't know, and they don't know how to find out how to do things. And I was looking through it, looking for a specific challenge we could focus on, like we did last week with Kathy's. But there isn't a specific one. It's a repeat of, in different words, of the same thing. And I just wondered, what's going on with people? What's behind this? What's behind this thing that they don't know? They don't get started because they don't know how to do things, and they don't know how to find out what they don't know, and they don't know how to find out how to do what they don't know. What's going on there?
I don't know. I don't really understand it. Can you tell me what you think is behind that?
Is it the same thing? Is it the same thing we were talking about the previous week, where I was surveying the people who hadn't done any personal development, and they they felt trapped in situations they didn't know what to do, how to get out of? Is it that people don't realise they've got a lot more power than they think they have? Oh no, it's a bit vague and nebulous. I'm
trying. Well, several thoughts are coming to my mind.
We're in no hurry with this one. I think it's
several thoughts are coming to my mind. You haven't got a precise quote, have you? One
I can.
One that illustrates it really well. I think while you're looking for that, I'm going to suggest that I think that 2016 and the times in which we live now are the most terrifying that I've known in my adult life. However, they're not really any more terrifying than any other times in which my parents or my grandparents or my great-great-grandparents lived. It just seems that way because with the rise of the internet, we can see everything now. So we can see American policemen hosing down protesters in wherever it is, Standing Rock, whatever it's called. We can see that Donald Trump didn't even pretend to be a nice person in order to get voted in. Do you know what I mean? They're terrifying. They're terrifying times, and the rise of the right wing, so that all the liberal advances that we've made in my lifetime are retreating, and the women's right to choose is never been popular in America, and all sorts of things like that. I think people are frightened. And the news is frightening. I don't mean watching the news because I never do that, but even just seeing it go by on my timeline on Facebook is frightening. And not getting sucked into that is harder than it's ever been. And I think that actually when you're frightened, like a rabbit in the headlights, you tend to freeze. So you don't like your job, but you daren't leave your job. That kind of stuff. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm listening.
Yeah. I think that's point one. And the other point is the thing I've been banging on about for weeks now, and I think it's the resultant behaviour that I see people doing is not doing what we did a decade ago and investing in themselves, but spending money because life seems so short and frightening. I see them spending money on good times.
Yeah, it's true.
And neither of those two things will change your life. The second one might alleviate the symptoms, but the first one maybe explains why you're getting these queries. Give me one that you think.
Well, here we go. I mean, I'll just fire off a few just to give you a bit of a feel for it. There's the short ones that say, okay, so what's your biggest challenge around marketing your business online? And then the second question was, if I could wave a realistic magic wand, what do you think might be the solution to that? So let's just go through. I mean, some of the short ones are lead generation, money, know-how, how I build an audience fast, finding a good lead magnet and marketing it well, being confident in myself, consistency working the tech, building a website, knowing where to begin, not doing it correctly, ideas and knowledge, engagement, sales, reaching my ideal client. These are all the short ones. And then you've got a few where these are called the hyper-responsives, where they get, actually put, and it's all anonymous. So I haven't got any emails here, so I don't know who anyone is. One of them says, getting really clear on what my customers want, but also being true to myself around what I'm offering, letting myself get overwhelmed by thinking of the whole thing rather than just focusing on the next step. And then someone else said, honing in on a target market. Well, we've been through that with me for the last few weeks. And then finding my way around the Facebook platform, which every course I've ever bought on Facebook marketing, it all seems to do differently. And then another one says, reaching more people with a clear and concise message of how my product can help them. Understanding a system that explains how online marketing works. Well, we know the answers are out there to all of these questions, don't we? But people just don't seem to go looking for the answers, or they go looking and then they get several different, like that woman said, there's several different ways of doing Facebook ads. It's interesting for me because I'm putting together a new course and I want to make sure that these issues are addressed. And obviously I can use these challenges in my sales copy, which is the answer to the person who says, who was it who said, where she said communicating what she can offer. Oh, here we are. Reaching more people with a clear and concise message of how my product can help them. That's a copywriting issue, isn't it? It's a traffic and copywriting issue. But, you must get the same thing from people who come to you. I think we talked about it the other week, where people come to you and say, I want to go self-employed and I don't know how to do it. or where to start, or what do I do in what order?
Yeah, no, they don't really do that. I'll tell you what happens with my clients. They've already started being self-employed.
Oh, okay.
And mostly what I deal with now is impatience and underconfidence. So and some of your respondees there want this. They want overnight results.
Yeah.
And that's not going to happen. You've got to dig in. And they don't really believe that the advice I give them and other people give them and that they've thought works because it's not working fast enough. They're underconfident about what they call blowing their own trumpet. So marketing, being visible. So really all we do is we work through the same issues all of the time, which is, are you going to reach your target audience online or off? And if it's online, what are you going to do? And if it's offline, what are you going to do? And interestingly, the only offline option really is networking, and that's certainly no faster than online. Online, you and I have both been doing it since God was alive now, but we're still doing it. That's the point. You can't stop doing it. You don't get to a place where it's done. And what I see is the clients taking, say, 3 years to build confidence where they're a successful marketer. We get to that point where, oh my God, strangers are buying things from me. That's my favourite. Oh, strangers. So I sold something this week to somebody. I have no idea who they are. Hooray! My favourite thing. And being visible. How are you going to be visible? Who's going to be interested in me? What am I going to put in my newsletter? Oh, I'm such a boring little mite.
Oh, hang on. I've got to chip in here because do you remember at the workshop back at the Acacia where I was trying to get you to start a blog and you said exactly those things? Who would be interested in me and what would I write about? It was hilarious.
Oh, actually, that wasn't it. It was what I said to you was, who on earth is interested in that tedious stuff you write in your newsletter about music every week? And the answer was, well, you'd be surprised because of what is it you call them? Green-eyed, sock-wearing...
green sock-wearing geeks who live in the basement of their mothers.
Yeah, I mean, the fact is all human beings are connected, and even if they're not particularly interested in the same thing you are, as long as you don't bore them in the telling of it, they're going to be interested in the fact that you're interested in it, if that makes sense. I've got a couple of examples of that coming up in the rest of my notes. I think it all boils down to we live in very cynical times and people don't know what to buy from whom and who they can believe. I mean, really, what I would like all my clients to do while they're working with me is stop buying other stuff from other people.
Yeah.
And let us just focus. Yeah. Let's just focus on what's in front of us, what we know how to do, and make incremental progress so that you can see it. Like that lady I told you about last week who said, the first question you asked me was, how much do you want to make? And I made it in year 2. Okay, everybody at the beginning wants to make it in week 2, but it takes 2 years to make it. And so what I'm trying to build is a small army of serious, I don't want you to think that there's no fun in this. There's plenty of fun. But people who are serious about being self-employed and they understand that it's not going to happen overnight. I mean, the funny thing is, whatever we do, whether it's building a business or losing weight or whatever it is, the time's going to pass anyway. So, here we are, it's December tomorrow, and I'm still sitting in this flat that I thought I'd sold in April. The time passed anyway. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you might as well take 8 weeks, 8 months, 8 years to do this thing. And I think perhaps also a lot of your people there's a lot of confusion, there's so much information out there. They've got to put their blinkers on, haven't they? And they've got to pick something. Let's say they pick your course. They've got to pick it. They've got to believe in it. They've got to work their way through it. Sometimes they have to be told. It's a horrid thing because actually what you see, there's some clients you can't help. Somebody that's coming to mind now is that lady that we talk about at least once every 3 months who spent her year in the money making her own website. And what you and I would have done would have told her to outsource that to somebody so she's got a website within 3 weeks and we can build on it in the remaining 49 weeks that we've got together. So some people won't be told, and it's difficult as a coach. I mean, both you and I would say to them, oh, for goodness sake, just get through and do X. But It's picking your program, it's sticking with it, it's believing in it, it's believing in yourself, it's growing all of your skills and your confidence and your results over a reasonable period of time.
Yeah, there's been so many examples. I mean, I'm in this Spirit Business group, and I finally cracked halfway through the week 4, week 4.5. I cracked because there was so much. Lots of people in that group are very fluffy, for want of a better word. They're light workers, they're spiritual, they're shamans, they're
They've made a considerable investment, Nicola. It's not cheap.
Sorry,
they've made a considerable investment. It's not cheap.
But here's what they're not doing, and that's what I see so much is the taking responsibility. They're not taking responsibility for their own results. And I've just read. I was going to put this in my Who or What's Impressed, but I've got something else as well. I've just finished Mark Manson's book, The Subtle Art of Not Giving a. Don't want to go explicit. It's absolutely brilliant, Judith. It's really, really funny. Do you know the book I'm talking about?
I do.
Yeah. It's absolutely brilliantly funny. He's very raw and honest about his own story, and he nailed it for me about this whole problem of taking 100% responsibility that they talk about in The Secret and The Science of Getting Rich and all that stuff. Because I always felt that was a little bit unfair for people to feel responsible for the things that had happened to them when those things were externally imposed, like wars and famines and abuse and all the horrid things that happen to people. I always thought, how can people take 100% responsibility for that? How can and for me it was like they were taking the blame for what had happened to them. And Mark Manson talks about this quite a lot in his book, about blame and responsibility.
Well, they're not the same thing at all, are they?
Sorry? No, I realise that now. Yeah, I realise that now. He says, in fact, it's a distinction between two words, isn't it? He said, you're not at fault for what's happened to you, but you have to take responsibility for how you react to it, how you let it make you feel, and what you do as a result of it. Yeah. And that just gave me this moment of wonderful clarity, because if that's the case, you can take responsibility for all the horrid things that have happened to you, and you can take responsibility for what's happening to you in your business and what's happening to you in your marketing and what's happening to you in your life without it having been your fault, which is brilliant.
Yeah.
So all these people, I mean, there's one here, I'm looking at it, right? And there's one person who's responded, his biggest challenge, and I don't know why I think it's a man, because it just comes across like that. He says, knowing where to begin. And then on the question, if I could wave a realistic magic wand, what do you think might be the solution to that? Well, the solution to that is investing in a program and following it A to Z, isn't it? And he said, realistic magic wand, really, a simple explanation of what the options are and what the pros and cons of each are and how I can decide on my own strategy is what I want. And I thought, he's on the website and he's being jumped to a page where he could actually download what I've my perfect online business plan. And then there's another book on my site called How to Market Any Business Online.
Well, and that's another thing. You just buy a book and follow it.
Sorry?
You said, buy a program. You could just buy a book, $9.99. I
buy them all the time. That's I've read every single internet marketing book on the planet, even if I think I already know the stuff in it. I still buy it just to see if there's one thing that I can get from it. So I think the real deep issue under this is, like you say, confidence, confusion, overwhelm, and just taking responsibility, because all these people in this course I'm in had a little blowout on during the week where they were starting to blame the course and the people who put it together for them not having started making money yet.
That happened as well, if you remember.
Yeah, it did, didn't it? Yeah, so it is a little bit of a warning for me, who is about to launch a new coaching program in January, that about halfway through, people's unrealistic expectations rise up, and you have to deal with the fact that they think they should be making money by now.
Well, may I make a suggestion that you don't overpromise in your sales letter? You take responsibility for the marketing message you put out, and then if it's a bit like when I used to go for an interview for a job. We're going back a bit now, 1970 something. If you pretend to be something other than what you are in the interview, then you'll have to continue to pretend to be that throughout the time you do the job. So, don't overpromise in your sales letter, Nicola. Be in your face truthful, and then what they see is what they get. What they get is what they were promised.
I've got to tell you that the sales letter that I signed up for this course I'm doing was 100% honest. And it was...
Yes, well, that's good, because then what it means is that the principals can point people back to that. That's my point in this.
Yeah, absolutely. Anyway, I waded in as gently as I could because it was Thanksgiving weekend, and I knew that the principals of the course were away having a bit of time off. So I thought, I can't let this pass. They're all working themselves up into a righteous frenzy of this course isn't working kind of thing. And it was only week 4. That's the hilarious thing about it all.
Of how many?
Of 6 weeks, and they're ladling on the extra bonus modules. So as they're seeing an issue arising it's the first time they've run this course, and as they're seeing an issue arising in the group, they're actually giving us bonus modules to deal with it, which is really interesting. So they're over delivering already, but there's 2 or 3 who think that this course should have saved themselves from all their problems.
How many responses have you got there?
I've actually got 47 responses here, 37 responses here, but I've actually up to about 50 or 60 responses overall. They're coming in all the time.
And how many people in that group?
I don't know, actually. I think there's about 40 or 50.
I'm just thinking to myself, trying to do a sum in my head now, rifling back through current and past clients. Clients that never achieve anything in any group, whether yours or mine or somebody else's, what percentage fade away without achieving anything, i.e. they rather moan in the Facebook group than do the work?
I'm afraid it's as high as 80 or 90%.
I was thinking at least 50, yes. Now, so therefore, actually, this is about the human condition, which is most people, I don't know whether this got worse in the second half of my life, but most people, we all want instant gratification, don't we?
Yeah, and I think that some people get it from buying a course, so that it satisfies the part of their brain that they've actually done something. And then they perhaps get it out and use it, or if they do get it out and use it, they then come to a bit of it that's quite hard, and so they fall off at that point.
Yeah. And actually, whatever we do in life, we come to the point where it's hard.
Yeah. Well, I nearly dropped out week 1 just because of the stuff that was being talked about.
Yes.
I couldn't cope with the woo-woo element of it all. You've only got to, I was saying to Sarah last night, you've only got to say the word shaman to me and I just can't cope at all.
Well, you see, I am a shaman.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Martha Beck told me I was a shaman.
Well, I think we've had this conversation before, but you've kept it very quiet.
Well, if you look at the definition, I think you'll agree. I haven't got the definition to hand now, but it's just a change, mate. It's nothing. It's nothing. It's not a medicine.
Anyway, yeah, no. I could just see you with a buffalo head on.
No.
Thing. It would be hilarious.
Go to those lengths, Nicola.
Okay. So in a way, so let's wind this discussion up. In a way,
can we go back to your screen where I can see the time, please? Because then I can manage this conversation.
Yeah. In a way, it's good for us. It's good for any business person because there is an endless stream of new people coming through that need your help. The thing we have to guard against, and that's I think where I got to the point of which is where I stopped coaching and started going off down the software as a system route or service as a system, was that you have to guard against getting cynical, discouraged by how few people actually do the work, let alone succeed. You have to guard against getting cynical about people buying things and then not using them as a way of satisfying that taking action itch. How so that's perhaps something to talk about in another episode is how do you keep your motivation up, how do you keep your bright-eyed bushy-tailed enthusiasm for working with people up, I don't know and how do you encourage, because I know that when a mutual friend of ours wrote their books, they really wanted to improve that percentage. 5% of all people's are the ones who take any action. And everyone who speaks on stage knows that it's a very low percentage of the audience. A lot of them are there just for entertainment, really, to fill a weekend. So how does one improve those odds? That could be a conversation for another day.
Yes, not all we can actually, but I think what's saying is that you're surprised that people have got the same issues, and I think perhaps that they are perennial issues, and perhaps the difficulty is when we think that we've written or spoken or produced the program that has the solution in it, that the problems still exist.
Yeah, I think the key for me is to keep excited about trying different mediums to get the message across, and not to, so that would keep my enthusiasm up. For example, I've just ordered myself a new camera so that I can do more straight to camera. I want to get Phoebe editing, exciting weekly vlogs. I definitely want a drone. I'm so gagging for a drone, I can't tell you. So I think perhaps it's keep regurgitating the same message, knowing that you're not talking to the same people, and use anything you can to keep your enthusiasm high and your passion for what you do going.
I don't think my enthusiasm or passion's ever going to die. Sometimes I think to myself, as I get older, who's going to want to know what I know? But you've just made me feel happier about that, because actually the principles are the same. There's no new stuff. There's new ways of accessing stuff. What's underneath is the same, which is, me holding people accountable and supporting them emotionally while they do the work, some of which is hard.
Yeah. And while they grow into a place of taking responsibility for their own actions.
Well, I think I don't come across many people who I think are not taking responsibility. They're the ones that fade away. The ones I'm working with are responsible, and I think they're growing into a place of, and this makes perfect sense to me, they're growing into a place of confidence as a business owner. Okay. Or solopreneur or self-employed person, which they didn't have, because unlike me, they weren't born into it in 1977. They had a job first, and then they became a parent next, because most of my clients are women. And you don't watch the Gareth programs about choirs, but it was on last night, and there was a group of women in there called Mums from Durham. And the mums from Durham cried because they had no confidence and they'd not done anything for themselves from the moment the first baby was born. And I just looked at them and I went, oh, they're my clients. Because being out of the workplace and being a mum and being at home should be the proudest, most wonderful job in the world, but all it does is erodes your self-confidence and puts you second.
Yeah.
And, those women are my clients, and they come when their kids are 8 or 10 or 11 or something like that. And we've got to find themselves again. There's the confidence issue. So, we're all growing as people, and learning to, create your own living is a wonderful way of doing that.
Yeah, absolutely. In fact, they put themselves third, don't they? Because there's the person who's owning the cash comes first.
Oh, there can be. Yes, there can be. But, anyway.
We'll get into that feminist conversation. Right, project updates then.
No, word of the week. Why do you always get these in the wrong order? Are we working off different sheets, you and I?
No, well, I've stopped because I haven't had a printer, Judith, you see. I've been
working.
Okay.
So my word of the week is intangible. I've already written a blog post about this, and it goes back to the point I made just now about selling services versus selling things. I'm quite gagging to... I'm excited about my clients who sell things, because I see people buying things, not what we're selling, but... I think they're sick of information, actually. I think they want good times. I think they want parties. They want Christmas. In fact, I had a YouGov survey this week that asked me how much debt was I going to go into for Christmas, which my answer was 0. But clearly the world is buying fun times and nice things as a way of alleviating their concerns about life as it looks right now.
I think this is why I'm so able to buy a drone but not able to buy a kettle. Because I can...
Well, yes, that does speak to that. Now, and I was going to talk to you about Yarrow. Have you seen his post this morning?
Who?
Yarrow.
No, I haven't. What's he saying?
Well, he's launched a new brand called Change Manifesto, and the first post is about anxiety.
Oh, yes, I did see that, yeah.
So he's moving... I don't know whether he's going to run them in parallel or whether he's moving across, but he's talking about feelings.
And he's moving into the business-to-consumer market there, isn't he?
I don't know. I haven't looked. The first post is about, how I make myself feel anxious. And for a man to be writing that, I think, and actually it was prompted by election night.
Yeah, and I tell you the other thing, James Schramko is opening a dog-orientated business, and possibly going into the surf market as well. Because
there you go.
Perhaps they all feel the same as you, that they obviously they're not going to just close their existing businesses, but perhaps that's come from the yearning to sell things rather than just.
Well, if people won't buy my information, what will they buy from me? I mean, an entrepreneur's got to have thoughts like that.
Yes, it's true. It's true. My word of the week is incendiary, because for the first time in a very, 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 very long time, I feel on fire again.
Oh, and you are the fire starter, are you not?
I get fire going now, Judith, without even any firelight.
Without having to go on a Bear Grylls television programme.
Exactly. I could get a fire going. We're given the right, that Sarah supplies the right things. She stacks all the wood up in the right sizes. It's all lovely. So, yeah, but I do feel completely... I've come out of the woods completely. I've been in a fog for the last few weeks, haven't I?
Woods. Stop doing these fire jokes. I come out of the woods. Woods, incendiary, fire starter. Good.
Anyway, so it's all good, and I'm feeling like I'm on fire.
You're on fire. Good.
Project updates.
Anything to tell us about the podcast?
Yes. I don't know if you'll like it or not, but
I'll warn you, I've got quite a long who or what's impressed, but tell me.
Okay,
tell me
right,
what.
Okay. Basically, I've started, because we've got some money in the kitty, and I haven't been knowing what to do with it. And I've just thought to myself, the best way to expand our reach on the podcast and spend this money on the kitty is to get our page likes up, because you're very diligently putting notes on our page, aren't you, for every episode now?
Yeah.
It seems like the most obvious thing is to get more people to see those notes. So what I thought I'd do was I'm going to experiment with every week I'm going to try something different. Each week will be about that current issue. So I'll be promoting the current issue each week. But one week I'll do it as I'll do it as an ad with an image, and then another week I'll do it as a boosted note. So one of your notes, and we'll see what how many clicks we get from each thing.
Okay. And
I'm going to experiment. The other thing I'm going to do is pay for page likes, but I'm not just paying for any old page likes willy nilly. I'm going to seriously. I've created a lookalike audience from people who visited our website.
And can you target people who Facebook knows like podcasts?
I can, but I don't know if that will be too general. So what I might do is cross-reference people who like podcasts with people who describe themselves as a business owner or an entrepreneur.
Yeah, self-employed. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So I've got 2 little campaigns going. They're only $5 a day. I'll run them until the money runs out, and we'll review every week what's happening.
Okay.
And that's quite. I can't think of any other way to promote. The main thing that held me back from doing that before was knowing what the metric for success was. But I think with the one where I'm sending traffic to the website, the metric for success is clicks. And we've also got an opt-in box on the website. And we've also got a push crew thing, where people can opt to get notifications. So I've had the push crew thing running for a while, and I know how many people generally opt in on average. So I can compare what happens now with what's been happening over the last few weeks. So I've got some sort of metric for measurement. And on the page likes, it can only be a good thing if more people see your beautiful notes. So that's where I'm at with that.
All right, fine.
Well, any project updates yourself?
No, I'm not doing them. We're just going to talk about podcasting.
Oh, yeah, sure. You're on holiday now for a month, aren't you?
Well, it's not just that, but we decided we would make this project update about the podcast.
About the podcast, okay. So if anyone's got a podcast, you might want to listen in on a regular basis, because we'll be updating how it's going.
Yeah.
Who or what's impressed, Judith?
Do you want to go first?
Yeah, I can go first, yeah. Casey Neistat closed his vlog down.
Which I saw that.
I know, devastating. To someone who likes to, when I wake up in the middle of the night, I like to watch one or two. And the reason why he's closed it down is because he's had an offer from CNN to buy out his company Beam for $25 million. Now, bear in mind, Beam's only been launched for about 3 months. He's been working on it for the last year. Gary Vaynerchuk was the first investor. And so $25 million buyout from CNN. But the reason they've done it, and they've what's called shuttered it, which I imagine it means I went to Beam and it says that it's closing down in X number of days. So they're going to put it in mothballs, I think. And Casey and his entire team are going to be building something, a video news platform for CNN News, which is one of the biggest news conglomerates on the planet. I mean, how exciting is that? That Casey started his daily vlog with no idea about what would happen, no idea if anyone would watch it. He became one of the biggest YouTubers in the world within a year. And then he did that as a way of A, keeping his creative hand in on filmmaking, and B, bringing attention to his little startup called Beam. And now Beam has been bought out for 25 million within a year. What I think is even more exciting is that CNN and the traditional news gathering media are not known for this, are dragging themselves into the 21st century. Yeah, absolutely true. Yeah, but it's just, one man with a little vision and just consistently follow through, working his arse off into the wee small hours to do the editing. And I just find I'm so deeply, deeply thrilled for him. And I don't even know the man, Judith, but I feel like I do. And it's wonderful to see someone do so well.
I saw that yesterday. It's excellent news.
Yeah. Right. What are you impressed with?
Well, I don't know that you're going to be impressed by this, but I don't know why I haven't discussed this with you before, but we're going to discuss the elephant in the room, Ed Balls.
I have got no idea who you're talking about.
No, I know you haven't, because you don't watch Strictly Come Dancing, but 12 million people in the UK will know precisely what I'm talking about. Ed Balls was the former Chancellor of the Exchequer for the Labour Party. He lost his seat in the 2015 general election, and it was a bit of a shocker. Because normally high-profile politicians don't lose their seat; they're in somewhere where they're quite comfortable. And he accepted the invitation from Strictly Come Dancing to be one of the celebs on this year's season. And I posted on Facebook on the 31st of August this year, Ed Balls must need his bumps feeling that he accepted an invitation to be on Strictly. I love Strictly; I watched every week. But they have, in previous years, fallen into the trap. Actually, it's not a trap. They do it on purpose, where they have the fat one, the gay one, the laughable one, the hopeless one, the whatever. Five time wasters in there. And the point of the time wasters is that they give the other ones who are going to win it a chance to learn how to dance. And Ed Balls was this year's Jeremy Vine. You remember Jeremy Vine was with your woman, Natasha, whatever. And Ed Balls looked less likely than Jeremy. Jeremy actually couldn't dance. Ed Balls, it transpires, couldn't really dance either. But he has won over the great British public, and he lasted 10 weeks whilst other people went out who were ostensibly better dancers. And that upsets the dance purists quite a lot. But I've learned something from this. I've learned something really, really, really big and important from this, which is, first of all, it looked like we were going to vote for him to win it, just like we voted for Donald Trump and Brexit as a protest, because we were sick of people telling us how we should vote and how we should think and how we should behave. As it happens, he's not going to win it, but it doesn't matter. We saw this man do something weird, which was, why would a politician choose to be on, albeit the most popular television programme that's on a Saturday night, and make a muppet of himself? Well, quite quickly, he wasn't really being a muppet. He was learning to dance. He was trying really hard. He was exhibiting all sorts of fantastic British qualities. And he turned us around, myself included. I didn't vote for him, ever. And I'm not sorry that he's gone out now. But in the 10 weeks, he turned me round to a fan. I've got two of my closest friends in the world are card-carrying members of the Labour Party. I'm not. But I don't even vote Labour. But I don't vote at all, actually. But they are now saying, because the Labour Party's in disarray, bring this man back. Now, the important point of this story is that Nick Robinson, who is one of the BBC's political pundits, you'd know him if you saw him, on the night Ed Balls lost his seat in 2015, so about 18 months ago, he said, the great British public haven't understood what they've lost here. This man plays piano, runs marathons, loves football, is a passionate family man, is the cleverest economist we've ever had. And my prediction, he said 18 months ago, is that the great British public will come to love this man. And that's exactly what happened through, and this could only happen in 2016. You know, when my dad was voting, politicians didn't go on dance programs, didn't go on journey programs,
appropriate,
reality television. I don't think it was even a genius masterstroke where his PR people said, look, let's get you loved again, let's get you seen. It was just a gorgeous collision between popular entertainment and politics. Frankly, this man now could write his ticket to do whatever he wants. He's an academic, as it happens. So in the 18 months since he lost his seat, well, before he started practicing to dance for 8 hours every day, he was at Harvard and working on academic papers and all sorts of things like that. But this unlikely human being has won over 12 million people. He couldn't even get enough votes to get elected last time. He's now got 12 million fans in the UK from dancing. I was going to say on a Saturday night, but it hasn't, because in order to be that good, you've got to dance for 8 hours a day for 5 days a week. But it's a phenomenal story, Nicola, phenomenal story. And I thought he was mad. I didn't even vote for him. He wasn't a particularly good dancer. He's converted me as well. I don't vote Labour. He's converted me to thinking and appreciating what a fine human being he is by doing something radical, actually. Something, if somebody said to him or me, do you want to go on Strictly Come Dancing, you'd think, are you mad? But he did it, and he's made it work for himself in a gazillion ways, and he hasn't even done it deliberately, cynically, that's the accidental result. You can see that he's tried really hard. And by the way, I must say here that the Russian dancer that he's been dancing with, Katya, if anything, has achieved even more than him, because she's taken this sort of slightly overweight middle-aged man and turned him into the success of the series.
Can I get a word in?
Well, that's why I let you go first, because I knew this was going to be Anne. I have finished now. Yes.
I have two comments on this. One is, what a lovely story, obviously. Let's hope he's got his social media platform sorted out, because he has got a platform now.
Well, he is the man who, the first time he sent out a tweet, tweeted his own name by accident, and everybody took the piss out of it. Of course, I mean, he's got such a laughable name anyway, Mr. Balls. You know what I mean? The ball, it lends itself to that. But I don't know how he will leverage it. I don't even think that he does. He will go on tour. You remember when you and Phoebe used to go on the X Factor, go to the X Factor tour?
Yeah.
He will go on the Strictly tour. So clearly he's going to keep up his dancing. There you go. Twitter rejoices as Honey G. He was the Honey G of Strictly.
I was just going to mention Honey G when I got called in, because she did the same. Everyone derided her and didn't think, they actually thought she was a put-up job and not a real rapper at all. And over the weeks, she has gradually won everyone's hearts, well, lots of people's hearts, and not the obviously hip-hop purists, but every week, don't we so? We sit and we cheer her on and we love her. And
look what you're looking at now, his Twitter profile. He's the senior fellow at Harvard Kennedy School, the visiting professor at King's College, and Strictly Come Dancing. I mean, do you know what I mean? And look at that picture. He even really looks rather handsome there. If you like a middle-aged Chancellor of the Exchequer, which, as it happens, I do.
He's 230,000 followers. Yeah. He's got a link to his book on Amazon, and he's got his own website. So this is...
Well, he just surprised us all, me included. And the longer it went on, and the more likely it looked like he might win, the more I kind of wanted him to win.
And he's got a website that seriously looks like he's running it himself, because it's not flash or fancy at all. But he's got his. I mean,
he's an academic. He's the chair of Norwich City Football Club as well, but he's an academic. But a piano playing, marathon running, football loving, passionate family man, the cleverest economist this country's ever known, and dancer.
I did catch him 1 week, about 2 or 3 weeks ago, and I was watching Gogglebox, and they were watching one of his dances, and it was absolutely brilliant. So there you go.
Well, if it was Gangnam Style, then it was the best one. Yeah, it was
Gangnam Style. Yeah, it was brilliant.
If you look at what his partner did in that, his teacher and his partner, she played a blinder. She is my hero of 2016. She didn't know who he was, because she's not British originally. She's married to a Brit. But, she didn't know who he was. She didn't know. She looked like she'd drawn the dud.
Yeah.
You've got a fat middle-aged man who was a politician, and normally what we do on Strictly is we take the side and they get voted off quite soon. But actually, they played it seriously, and they really worked hard. And she put together choreography that made him become the nation's star.
Brilliant. Well, there you go. You've got several blog posts worth of material there. So,
yes, I've sort of said all I need to say on the topic now, actually. But it is never assume. I assumed he was going to fall on his face and make himself look like an idiot, and I was wrong.
Yeah, well, that's lovely, isn't it? We've got all these stories now of people doing good this week, so it's been a very uplifting week, I think.
It has indeed, Nicola. Off you go, and it must be nearly time to knock off for the day over there, isn't it?
Another what?
It's nearly time to knock off for the day over there.
No, I've got all sorts of exciting things going on. Anyway, I'll talk to you next week. It's been a joy.
Just one thought before you go.
Yeah.
No caffeine deliveries.
What, at your house?
There haven't been during the podcast. I have tested the doorbell to go twice, but none.
No. Well, fingers crossed for later then.
Yeah. Okay, see ya.
See you soon. Bye.
Yeah, bye.
You've been listening to Nicola Cairncross and Judith Morgan. The podcast is called Own It, Your Business and Your Life. Do come and visit us at ownitthepodcast.com. We'd love to hear your feedback. You can find out more about Judith and visit her on her website at judithmorgan.com, and you can find Nicola at nicolacairncross.com.